Welcome back and thanks for being with us. We're joined by Mr. Vimal Kejriwal, MD and CEO at KEC International Limited, joining us this morning. 1,000 crore order, 1,150 odd crore order win. Mr. Kejriwal, firstly, great having you. Let me first start off with the unique nature of this order, right? It's in the data center space, the transmission space, but catering to data centers. Is the margin anything different from regular? Was competition higher with regard to this order win? Just give us some of those characteristics. Anything unique with regard to the outcomes that this order brings to either your financials or to the sector as a whole?
Harsh, good morning and thanks for having me. I think there are quite a few unique things about this order. One is the order is a fast track order because typically data centers get built in maybe 15 to 18 months. So you would expect that the line would be ready in 12 months and odd. So it's a fast track order. So revenues will accrue very quickly and in a limited time span. That's number one. Competition was definitely very limited here again. Again, because of the uniqueness of the order. It's a difficult terrain and to be done fast track. So obviously the margins would be higher than the normal orders.
So what's the timeline, sir? If you can give us a sense of that.
I think I don't have the exact, but it's I think around 12 months.
Okay, so 1,000 crore, 1,100 crore to be executed over 12 months.
No. 1,100 is the overall order intake which we have announced.
Right.
This is part of that. I think it's around 40-50%. 40-50% is this part of it.
Understood. And are you seeing a significant acceleration in such orders coming your way? Are margins materially better in orders like this?
So Harsh, what is happening is that a lot of data center developers are now not wanting to rely on the grid for their power supply. So especially the last mile, let's say last 30, 40 kilometers or 50 kilometers of the line from the grid substations or wherever it is, most of the developers of the data centers now are wanting to put their own lines. So I'm clearly seeing this market ramping up. We are already in discussion with a couple of other developers to set up the lines or the substations for their supplies. And yes, the margins will be definitely better than the normal ones because these are all negotiated orders, fast track orders, and last mile is always a bit difficult to execute.
So looking at that, Mr. Kejriwal, you've already guided a total order inflow of about 30,000 crore rupees for FY27. Till date, how much order inflow have you seen and how much is balance?
So Asha, till date, we have got around 5,200 crores of orders. So roughly, I'll say similar to what we had got last year. It's slightly lower than what we would have wanted it to be. But I think we'll still stick to our guidance because we still have a tender pipeline of close to 1,80,000 crores and roughly around a lakh of that is in the transmission space. So I do see that in the Q2 and Q3, we will get a lot more T&D orders because a lot of tenders have been quoted into our or the HVDC is getting quoted now. So I think we will see a lot of inflows happening.
Mr. Kejriwal, hi, morning. Sajit here. Give us a sense of the kind of opportunity this data center, T&D is opening up for you. How big is it for you and what kind of tendering which is expected maybe over the next 12 to 18 months?
Sajit, good morning. So if you look at the data center, I'll say environment, we're talking about going from 1.5 gigawatt to around 10 gigawatt or so by 2030. If you look at those numbers and assuming that happens, then we're talking about a overall T&D opportunity of around 50 to 60,000 crores. That's over let's say the next 4 to 5 years. So annually, maybe 10-12,000 crores could be the opportunity. And typically what we have seen, I don't know right now about data center, what would happen is as a company, we have been getting around, let's say 15% of the overall market. That's a very broad numbers.
And you mentioned about the fact that you have a tender pipeline of more than a lakh crore which is coming up. Are you seeing some kind of delays in the tendering process, or do you see everything expected by the end of the calendar year? Because going into next year, you will have all those state elections coming in. Is that going to be a slow run once that happens?
So the overall tender pipeline is 1,80,000. 1 lakh was for T&D, of which I think India is roughly around 45,000 crores, and the rest is overseas. There has been some delay in, I'll say, in Q1 and Q4 on the tender awards, especially as in the Middle East and also in India. But now we are seeing a huge amount of pressure on tenders to be quoted, and we do expect that decisions will start happening within this quarter. So hopefully in this quarter itself, we should start seeing an uptick on the India T&D. State elections, yes, but what happens is that if you look at our order book, there's not much on which is coming from the government directly. But yes, people like Power and all that also generally start slowing down. They don't want to give orders when the state elections are announced. So there could be some impact going forward. In fact, the other way is that the clients may like to accelerate and say that, give the orders before the code of conduct comes in.
Mr. Kejriwal, so you're saying that some of these orders are short-term, they're quicker turnaround, and therefore it's slightly newer also by their nature. Was this penciled in when you gave that 30,000 crore guidance with regard to order inflows for FY27, or is this over and above?
No, this will not be over and above.
Okay.
See, we will not be able to pencil in every single, let's say, segment and all that. So when you give a number, you have an assumption saying that, okay, we'll pencil in saying, okay, we'll get 10,000 from India, 10,000. That's the way the order intake. And you always keep in mind what's the target. But to me, these are something which we had honestly not thought that, it will come directly. The orders were penciled in. We know that, these data centers will come. But the general impression was that, it would come through the normal grid tenders. But we are seeing a new trend where the developers have started issuing orders.
And Middle East, how is that playing out? The recent tensions, is that impacting execution at all, or everything steady state? No concerns whatsoever?
So I think the issue still continues on the logistics side of it. Okay, but on the ground, I think we have around 25 projects, and there is absolutely no slowdown either on the projects or on the payment, etc. However, logistics from Europe, China, even to an extent India, does get impacted. So there could be some impact, on the timelines of the revenue, etc. But we are seeing a lot more tenders coming out now. I think more than what we had seen in April, May time. So June, July, we have seen a lot of tender announcements coming, and I think some of them will now get converted into orders this quarter.
When you say, sir, there's a delay with regard to logistics, how does it reflect for you? So it sits in inventory for a longer period of time. Is that the right way to think of it? And thereafter, probably the backlog gets cleared very quickly if the unwind were to happen. Is that correct in terms of the way I'm thinking of it?
So there are two different angles to it. So if you take, I have a factory there. So if I'm not able to finish the product, like some particular steel does not go there, then the semi-finished product would fit into my inventory. The second piece is what I buy from outsiders, let's say a transformer or a GIS or a conductor, etc. So these are part of the supplier. So unless and until it dispatches, it doesn't come into my revenue. So it doesn't impact my balance sheet in that manner. But then obviously the revenues get delayed till they get shipped.
Okay, Mr. Kejriwal, always good to have you on the show. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Bye.